So welcome to Beyond Talks. My name is Lucy.
And my name is Audrey.
And we're here to help you to
activate your passion.
Welcome. Today we are going to be talking about breaking cycles, and we are going to have a series on different cycles in life and how to break those cycles in life. But before we start, just gonna let you know that we are on Spotify podcasts and we are on Apple podcasts as well. We have a lot of things. We have a YouTube channel as well, and you can also follow us on Instagram. Because those who are listening to us on the podcast just right here, you can watch the visuals on YouTube. And those who are watching the visuals on YouTube, if you're in a rush or you're in a hurry and you don't want to watch, you can listen to us on podcasts.
That's right. Okay, so today we're just gonna round up and talk about what we think cycles are, because like what we said, we are going to go deeper into the different types of cycles that we're going to, that you can be in. So Lucy, when you think about cycles, or when you hear the word cycles, what do you think?
Personally, when I hear a cycle, I think of prison.
Oh wow.
I feel like a cycle is some sort of prison. The routine is the same. It's the same day after today, tomorrow. It gets boring. You feel stuck. Just like when you're in prison, you feel stuck in one place. You're confined in one place. So for me, a cycle, I look at it like a prison, like a box that I can't come out of.
Like a cage,
I'm aware, but I can't just come out of it. What can I do?
Wow.
So that's what I think of a cycle.
Yeah.
So what do you think about a cycle, Audrey?
I think you've kind of like touched upon it. For me, it's stagnation. When there is something that's just blocking you, you're just stuck. You can't go through the flow of life, or whatever you want to do. It's not going anyways. It's just going round and round and round and round in circles. So yeah, that's what I think when I think of the word cycles.
That's quite interesting.
Yes.
Stagnation. Oh my god, my pronunciation.
Stagnation.
There we go. I said it. Stagnation. All right.
Yes.
So, what do you think? What are the cycles, and how do you think we can break those cycles?
Wow. Do you know what? I think just us, since we're just talking it in a broad or a quick way, trying to cut things down, but hopefully soon with the series that will come, we'll go deeper. I think it all starts in the mind. I think the realization of that you are in a cycle is the first step of you actually breaking out of a cycle. Because a lot of times people, they don't even realize that they are just going round and round and round. So you're realizing that everything just seems as if it's the same, nothing is progressing. That's the first step of you breaking out, because it then leads you to making up your mind. Yeah.
That is really true. I was just listening. I was like,
Yeah.
I think, from my point of view, breaking a cycle is interrupting the flow of life, your normal flow of life. Like how your life is flowing. Like if you're in a cycle, it means that it's flowing like that. That's what a cycle is, It's flowing there. So in order for it to break it, you need to interrupt it so you can break through. And an interruption of that is by interrupting the way you think. That's your mind. Interrupting how you feel, all those kind of things are sort of ways in which you can try and break a cycle. And like we said, a cycle is a state of mind. It's a state of mind. It begins with the mind, and then from the mind is where the action comes about, and then the action it flows from there.
Hopefully the action will lead to you then breaking forth and seeing the change that you want. So I guess like what we said, how can we then change our mind? Like how can somebody say, okay, I want to break the cycle and I want to change my thinking? What are the practical ways do you think that maybe if you've gone through a cycle, I don't know if you have, but if you have and you've overcome the situation, or maybe if you are overcoming one, what are the things are you doing in terms of your thinking? What are you practically doing to change the way you're thinking?
Reading.
Right.
Reading helps a lot. If you are in a cycle of your mind thinks about, let's say, negativity, you're in a state of mind of negative thoughts, try at least in a day to think about something positive, because success breeds success and failure breeds failure. In your mind, if you think about negative, and so shall it be.
That's right.
If you think about the positive, and so shall it be. It's a state of mind. So I feel like the first practical thing you can do is by changing how you think from a negative to a positive. If you're like, I am never good enough, wake up in the morning and say, I'm good enough. I am actually good enough. You may not feel it. You may say, okay, it's just by saying, it's just by looking in the mirror and just saying it. No, you have to own up to that. Like when someone says something to you that is not good, your normal reaction is like, I'm not good enough. But today, you know, you're like, guess what? I think I'm good enough. So I feel practically it's kind of like reading a lot of things, you know, read books.
So feeding your mind with the positivity.
Affirmations, like positive affirmations are very, very good. If you wake up in the morning and say good things about yourself and do something positive, like make sure that when you wake up in the morning, create a peaceful state of mind, you know, just create that peace so that when you come out and things are all over the world and things are happening, this, that and that, you have had that basis of goodness and calmness. Because personally, when I wake up in the morning sometimes, and for me it's prayer. I pray and then play some music and listen to some podcasts. It gets me in a mood. When I don't do that, trust me, my day is chaotic. My day is like, it's left, right, center. So it's like, it's feeding your mind in the morning.
Yes. I get you.
In a way.
Starting your day, the way you start your day, it determines how you end your day. I mean, sometimes maybe there can be a shift, but it just gets you on a fresh, clean start. Like you start well, and then it boosts your day. For me personally, I think like what she said, you know, like feeding your mind and all of this. I believe for me, the way that I renew my mind is by the word of God. And yes, speaking to people, feeding my mind with things that actually brings life to it. That's one of the ways. And I think I like what she said, you know, just in the morning for me, let's say I've been trying to break a cycle, I just feel stuck. The first thing that I do is prayer. When you're in a place of prayer, it's kind of you're in a place of just, I guess, meditating or being still. I guess being still is the right word to use. I get into a place where I'm being still and I'm actively saying the thoughts that I'm feeling and feeling the emotions that I'm feeling, but then allowing the Holy Spirit, allowing God to then open my eyes to see if I haven't become aware of what is making me feel or what is making me or keeping me in that cycle. So then it opens up for me to be able to see and to feel comfort, and then just reading the word of God and having those conversations that are uplifting, that will change the way of my thinking. Like I said, it starts with the mind. So if you're constantly just with your own thoughts and everything, probably 99% of the time you are either exaggerating things, and your thoughts anyways, clearly they're not getting you anywhere. So you need to feed from other people who are maybe in positions where you would like to be, that can speak life into you, and you can definitely, hopefully, then move forward. Amazing.
That's really good. The other thing that I can say, a way that you can break a cycle is by breaking the habits. Daily habits. Break the routine, because a cycle is a routine of something that you do every single now and then.
Literally, it's a continuous routine.
It's the same. You wake up in the morning, you do the same thing today. You surround yourself with the same friends. You try to put yourself in a situation whereby let's say you eat in the same place, you go to the same job, you look for the same work, you watch the same shows, you do everything the same. Like nothing is different. So by breaking those habits, you know, of like, today, you know what, I'm going to choose to surround myself with a different environment, some different kind of people, you know. Some, they may not be my sort of type, but let me surround myself, because through that, you're able to understand your boundaries as a person. And you're able to understand like, hold on a minute. So every single day, I've been thinking like, I'm rubbish. Things are not going my way. Things are this and that. But there are people actually out there who are feeling the same. Because let me tell you something that I have realized, and something that I have noticed personally, is that if you have friends around you who are going through the same exact thing, it's harder for you to break out of that.
Wow.
Because it's like, I remember I had a friend, we both did not have jobs. I didn't have a job, she didn't have a job. In life, we're still in the same situation. We've graduated, we have not found something in what we want to do, even that I'm still doing now. And every single now and then she'll be like, oh, ask the jobless. as the people who were trying, like me and you, we just, hey, I was like,
The mentality.
The mentality was like the same. There was not that sort of situation of like, look, you know what? Let's look for a job. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's try to break this. Even it's sort of like, go to a friend who already has a job. Someone who is already in a situation that you want to be in.
Yeah.
And talk to them. Ask them what they're doing, what they did. Don't we find comfort in surrounding ourselves with people who have the same story as us.
You will not get anywhere.
You cannot
because
get anywhere.
That's the thing, like what she said. It's habits and things that we have acquired that we keep on doing repeatedly, and we are just we're being consistent with those things, and they're giving us the same results of us being just at the same place. So I love what you said, that you need to, again, find other people or do something different. And one thing that I want us to be aware is that if you're going to say, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that, you need to replace it with something. You can't just take off one thing and then just leave it like that. It doesn't work like that, because you're actually going to return to that thing. So for example, let's say if I say that, okay, I want to be, maybe I want to get fitter, right? The first thing that I do, I'll say, okay, you know what, instead of me in the morning waking up and just stuffing myself, I will start up with, the time that I used to eat and just stuff myself. I'll use that time to maybe go for a walk, go for something, and then feed myself or something like that. So you have to replace those activities, whatever those habits that it was. You take one out, you replace it with something better. Yeah. And the other thing is that sometimes people will be like, oh, maybe it's because I'm not doing enough, or maybe I just need to continue. Yeah, exactly. Or they're just like, oh, maybe I'm just not doing more of what I'm doing already. Listen, how long have you been in the same place? How long have you been in this cycle? It's time for you to change your routine, change things, because clearly what you have been doing is not taking you anywhere, right? It's not taking you anywhere, and that's the harsh reality that some of us have to accept and come in terms with, because we just feel, oh, maybe I'm doing this and that. No. If it hasn't given you at least a sign of change, then please, I'm begging you, just leave it on the side. Change and pick something else. You will not get, the results you want by your ordinary steps. You have to take it up a notch. Yeah,
by coming out of your comfort zone.
Definitely.
You need to push through and come out of that place that is comfortable, that place that makes you feel like, oh, it's okay, it's this. Are you happy? The first question you need to ask yourself, are you happy? What you're doing, does it make you happy? If you are not happy, then you have to take those steps, just like you said and you explained, you have to take those reasonable steps. When you take out one thing, replace it with another thing. The good thing that I had you saying, that you said was, when you don't replace it with something else, you're going to go back to that same thing.
You're going to go back to the same thing.
You're just going to go right back where you started from.
Yeah.
So it is very good. It's it's a weird thing, because everyone in life is having a certain kind of cycle.
That's right.
I have a cycle. You have a cycle. There is something in your life that is the same, but it's a cycle. It's comfortable. You don't even like it, but it gives you comfort. But you're not happy about it. You're
not happy about it by the comfort zone. It's funny, because sometimes I wrote this quote and I said that it's funny how I thought that the comfort zone will be a place of comfort, but actually it's a death zone, because things that are inside of me that are supposed to be blooming and growing, they are dying because I'm in my comfort zone. So your comfort zone is not really your comfort zone, it's your death zone. You're killing things that are supposed to be alive, things that are supposed to be blooming, and yet you're not even watering them, just because you can't be bothered to put in the work, you can't be bothered to take the extra hours, you can't be bothered to deal with yourself, sit down yourself, take responsibility of your own life. So guys, please, this is the time for us to break out into these cycles. We are not staying stagnant. We are moving forward. Listen, some people say maybe next year, maybe no, today. When you make up your mind, the power of the mind, I believe that one of the greatest things that we as human beings have is the mind. The mind, we create ideas. For example, this light, somebody had a thought in their mind, ding, that, oh, I think we could do with lightning. I think we could do with lighting, and I think we could do with, you know, light bulbs. And look at it, we all have the light bulbs. Now we're using the light. So the power of your mind, when you make up your mind and when you then incorporate it with actions, you will see the change you want to see. So guys, we're excited. We're gonna keep this nice and short because we're going to go deeper into the different types
of breaking cycles.
Cycles, yeah, exactly.
Cycles.
What type of cycles are there? There's cycles of
cycles of relationships.
Yeah.
Cycles of negative thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, we have work cycles. We have live alone relationships. In relationships, there are friendships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There are also cycles of habits. You know, bad habits that we have acquired.
Yes.
You know. So there are a lot of things in cycles.
There's a lot of things.
If you yourself have something that you think that is a cycle, leave it down below in the comments. Let us know.
Leave it down below. Maybe it will be a
cycle.
new type of a cycle.
Yeah.
Who knows, guys? I'm telling you.
A new type of cycle. That is quite interesting. But yeah, this is really good because breaking cycles is like we all have these cycles. We all have this routine. We all have this thing. Have you ever been there and felt like you're stuck?
Oh, definitely. I think we all have been,
You know,
in one point or another, have felt stuck. But the reassurance is you are not going to be stuck forever. There is change. You just need to put the work for you to go on the other side.
That's true. Because as a Christian, as we are Christians, it's kind of like you need to think about that. The devil always will keep you in a cycle because he knows that's where he has got you. You know, that's why he keeps you in cycles. So you need to break the chain because it is a chain. You know, it's a repetitive chain, and it's like prayer is very key. Like we're talking about owning up your story and things like that, like acceptance and things like when you learn to accept, you break a cycle. There is a cycle you're breaking by accepting.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
there is a cycle that you're breaking by understanding that this is not my story to define my life, but it